Good morning, Coldwell Banker. How are you on this wonderful Thursday?
Thursday.
Thursday. It is January 19th, 2017, and we are here to go through the market reports, the market and area reports that Coldwell Banker has to offer as a part of the AVP, the exclusive AVP that we offer here at Coldwell Banker. But before we get started, two things. One, we're going to take roll call. So go ahead and in the little bottom right corner, I believe it's in the bottom right corner of your browser window there, as far as the video screen is concerned, you'll see a little text box, I believe it is. So go ahead and type in that text box your name and which office you are in. So just take a quick second to do that so I can be sure to see who is all on this session. So we're taking a quick roll call, bottom right corner, go down, type in your name and which office you're in so I can be sure to interact with you as necessary. And then also, I want to make sure that you are at the NRT gateway. Okay, so get to the NRT gateway because we are going to have you log into the NRT gateway. And when you're at the NRT gateway, you're going to click on the Market Reports button. So, two quick little housekeeping items. First is who you are and where you're from, and where you're at, which office you're at, I guess. And then also get to the NRT gateway so we can be sure to get you all set up there. Alrighty, how are we looking? We got some responses coming in.
We've got Janine and we have Lori.
Nice.
So out of the Colorado Springs office and the North Metro office.
Very well. Hi there, folks. Thanks for joining. And are they new to the company or they're just random? Not randoms, but they are people that are...
They were new at one time.
Okay. Sweet. Welcome, welcome. All right. In the meantime, while we get the next handful of people signing in who you are, where you're at, get over to the NRT gateway and log into the NRT gateway. And then get to the Market Reports button. And then we will be sure to get you all set up there. Okay? All right. So we're going to go on the screen to the Market Report button right now on the NRT gateway. Okay? And while you're getting there, just a little bit of history on what this entails, okay? So, of course, we all know we have the AVP, right? And the AVP does two things. One, it protects and it promotes the agent. It protects the agent with CE classes and also your E&O insurance and so forth, which is all great and a distinctive point of difference that we offer at Coldwell Banker. But the other part of the promote aspect of it is we are here to help promote the agents. And we know that according to NAR studies and NAR statistics, that I believe it's 92%, I think the number is 92% of agents, the most important part of being in real estate, 92% of agents who responded said that connecting with their clients is the most important part of being in the business and staying in touch with their clients and interacting with new clients, past clients, existing clients, etc. So the promotion aspect of the AVP does just that. It helps you, we as the company on your behalf, helps you stay in touch with your clients on a monthly basis, on a regular basis. Most often when we do that, it is via means of things that are completely unrelated to real estate, right? So whether it's the edX, or not EdXO, but the Economic Summit coming up on March 7th, and we're going to e-blast out for you an invitation to your people to attend the Economic Summit on March 7th, or it's the Night at the Rockies, or it's the Peach Festival, or it's the Santa Photos, or sweepstakes, or you name it. There's a myriad of ways that as a company we send out to your clients for you a reason or a way to connect and make that phone call that's totally unrelated to real estate, okay? However, at the same time, we also heard you loud and clear, and you do need or want a method of connecting with your people that is real estate related, that is statistically driven, or has market share information and data and content that positions you as the expert in the marketplace. Okay, so with that said, we're going to so I guess with that said, we have what is called the market area reports. Okay, so now on the screen we're going to go to the market reports. I assume everybody's at the NRT gateway, and with that we're going to get you to the NRT gateway. We're going to click on the market reports button, which is a single sign-on that takes you right to our exclusive market report environment. Okay, so everybody should be here. Is there anybody that's not here? If you're not here for some reason, raise your hand. Okay, let's get started. All right, in the upper right-hand corner, we're going to get you set up with your profile. Most probably it's your first time that you've been to the market reports. If not, if this is a reminder or refresher, just follow along. But click in the upper right-hand corner where your name is. You'll see the little drop-down arrow. It'll bring down the profile. Click on profile, and we're going to get you set up with your profile to make sure it looks nice and sharp and spiffy. Okay. So that said, your first and last name comes in from a data feed in the first two fields. If for some reason you want to change that and use your more common name, or whatever name that you go by traditionally as a real estate agent, go ahead and type that into the next field that says preferred name. Okay, and then from there, the designation: independent sales associate, Coldwell Banker realtor, real estate professional, whatever your designation is that you use as a real estate agent. Go ahead and enter that in the designation field. Your preferred email address, we get that through a feed along with your name, as you saw above. If you want to change that to a more common email address that you'll interact with your people on with these reports, go ahead and put that in the preferred email field. Okay. And then your website address, there's a chance that a website address is already in that field, which could be your InTouch website, your personal website, whatever URL that you use. Okay. If you want to override that, or if nothing is in that field, use the preferred agent field web address. Okay. And then scrolling down, if you have your personal agent photo, your portrait photo that you use for your professional marketing on websites specifically, so whether you have it on your social media profiles or your new Panda profile, which should be sitting on your computer most likely, you're welcome to upload that right now by clicking on the Attach File button right here in the corner. Attach File, find your file on your computer and attach it. 200 by 300. 200 by 300 is the size of the photo that would work best. Now, if you don't have your photo and you don't have it ready here, don't worry, don't freak out. There is a good chance that your photo is already coming in via a feed that we have, the Trident feed, which is also your website feed and whatnot. So once we generate your report, there's a chance that your photo is going to be sitting there already, in the event that it's not here currently, or in the event that you don't have it ready to upload. So just food for thought on that. Scrolling down further, you have your phone numbers. You can override your phone numbers or insert your preferred numbers if the numbers in the fields coming through are not what you want. Or if you want just your cell phone number, certainly use the drop down, select the the phone number type, and then enter your phone numbers there. Okay. All right. So click on Save. Okay. Go ahead and click on Save, because I want you to save what we have done so far, and it will say Record Saved. That is. And then I want you to scroll down to the social media. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to set you up with your little social media links or buttons that will appear in your report signature block. Okay, so if you want to use your own handles, your own personal social media website URLs, by all means, feel free. But I'm going to share with you here our company social media presence, I guess. And I'm going to share with you what I think you could, or if you choose to, would want to use. Okay. So, for example, with Twitter, all right, in the event that you don't have a Twitter account, but you want to have a Twitter presence, and you want to have the little button at the bottom of your signature block, that is what we are going to work towards. Now, let me just, I'm going to jump out of this. Don't do anything on your end, but I'm going to jump out real quick. I'm going to go to a market report, and I am going to go to one of my market reports because I want to show you visually on the screen what we're working towards. I know it's probably fairly elementary, but if you're trying to imagine or visualize, like, what is he talking about? What are we trying to create with these little buttons? I'm going to open up a report now so you can see, all right, that makes sense. This is what I want to get accomplished. And of course, in true live fashion, the computer and web decides to do what it wants to do at a slow fashion. So hang on just a second. I'm going to go to the preview. And so what we're trying to get accomplished here, yes, I know you're generating the report and all that fun stuff. All right, so here, look on the screen. Here are the little buttons that we're creating, okay? So when I recommend that you use our Twitter account, in the event that you don't have your own Twitter account, here's the Twitter account that we are going to link through to. And it's all real estate related. It's all industry, home style, Colorado, all that kind of fun, cool stuff, right? So that's the Twitter account. Facebook, you're going to use, you can use your own Facebook account, right? Or I'll share with you what our company Facebook account is, okay? And I'll share that with you in a second here. And then LinkedIn, you have your own LinkedIn account. Hopefully, if you don't, you're going to want to get one. We don't have a company LinkedIn account. We don't have a company LinkedIn account, I don't think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we don't. Pinterest, we'll get you a Pinterest. So where I'm going with this, here are the buttons that we're going to be creating for you. Here's the look that we're creating for you right now, right? So that kind of gives you a visual of what we're accomplishing here. My recommendation is that if you don't have at least 3 or 4, or if you're not going to use all of the social media buttons that I'm suggesting to you here, I would recommend not putting any in at all. So mainly because, can you imagine just having one little Facebook button or 2, Facebook and Twitter, and then, the significance of the others and the interaction of the others. I mean, it's totally up to you. It's your profile, whatever. But if you only have Facebook, or you only have LinkedIn, or if you don't want to include all of them, then I'd suggest not doing any of them, okay? All right, so here we go. Back to the profile. So hopefully you didn't leave your profile. Instead, you just saw what I did on the screen. And now we're at the Twitter, okay? So if you want to use our Twitter account, go ahead and type in this field on your screen, www.twitter.com/Coldwell, okay, Bank R, COLDWELLBANK R. All right, you're noticing that there is no ER, it's R. That's on purpose because that's what Twitter gave us. And then capital C, capital O. Okay, twitter.com/Coldwell Bank, the letter R, CO. And that was the Twitter account that I showed you. Okay, LinkedIn. Moving along to LinkedIn, you're going to want to have your own LinkedIn. And if you don't have LinkedIn, that's cool. We'll just keep moving forward, and you can use the other ones. If you do have LinkedIn, I'm going to go to, I don't know if I can log in. This is my LinkedIn account, but I'm not logged in. Actually, I might even be LinkedIn. So here's your URL. When you get into LinkedIn, this is the URL that you're going to be using right here, okay? Underneath your headshot, there's a little website that you will want to copy and paste, okay? And that is where you're going to copy paste that into LinkedIn, okay? Got it? I think, am I linked in or logged in? I think this is yours. Okay, this is yours. I don't know what's going on there. Don't worry about it. Just find your LinkedIn and paste in your LinkedIn, okay? And that would be that. As far as Facebook.com, or Facebook, that is, you can use your own personal Facebook if that's what you want to interact with your people on. Otherwise, you can use our company one, which is Facebook. It's going to be www.facebook.com/CBRB Colorado, I believe. Give me a second. I just want to make sure. Oh, I think it's CB Colorado. Is it CB Colorado? Okay, so let me get CB Colorado. Yes, it is CB Colorado. So if you want to use the company one, facebook.com/CB Colorado gives you what we are doing as a company relative to all the various functions and activities. And if for some reason you don't want to engage with your people on your personal website, Facebook site, then feel free to use facebook.com/CB Colorado, which is what you would type in right here. And from there, that is the Facebook. I'm going to actually change this here to CB Colorado for mine, and I'll save it here in a second. And then the blog, okay, so we have a blog in the event that you're not actively blogging and posting and staying connected there in that regard. We highly recommend that you use our blog, which is going to be coloradohomestyle.com, and I'll bring it up on the screen, coloradohomestyle.com, in the blog segment or field. And you can see here again, it's excellent content, it's outstanding engagement material for you to connect with your people on a regular basis about what's happening in Colorado, what's happening at the company level. It's totally generic, no interaction or no mention of agents per se, but it's just a great way for you to appear as the expert should your people click on that blog button. It's all really good information here, okay? Now, I'm going to give you a little side note, a little bonus for being on this session. So what I did is I clicked on one of the articles. Here's something, and this is, again, separate from the market report, but since we're here, I'm going to share with you a way that you could very easily share this article or any article with your clients on social media, so on your Facebook, let's say. What you do is you click on the article, any article, scroll all the way to the bottom, and then you'll see the social media buttons across the bottom here. Click on the Facebook one, for example, and in this case, it's going to, this is Katrina's Facebook account, but what you would do is you would type in, come check out, come join us this weekend at the Coldwell Banker night at the Nuggets. Is all right. Hope to see you there. And then, so what you would do is you would post it, click post. Katrina said it's okay that I post it to her Facebook. And then what I'll do is I'll open Facebook. So then, and this is really cool just to be able to have that. And I'm now going into her Facebook, and it should show right here. Here's the article that we just shared from the blog. You literally didn't have to do anything other than, basically share it. And it takes you or your clients right into the cool article that we've created for you, okay? So a little bonus, little sidebar as something that you may want to consider, okay? All right, so that is the blog that you would put into this field, coloradohomestyle.com. And then lastly, Pinterest. Feel free to use your own Pinterest account. If you're a pinner and you're into pinning and whatever else goes on in there, feel free to use your own Pinterest, but I would recommend you use our company Pinterest because we'll take care of it for you. It looks super sharp, and that's going to be pinterest.com/CB Colorado. And we will manage the crazy world of Pinterest for you so you don't have to lift a finger or do anything about it or engage or post or pin or whatever. But you look like the Pinterest guru that you are, okay? So here is the Pinterest account that we set up for you, and we'll manage for you if you want to use CB Colorado, pinterest.com/Colorado. Okay? All right, so go ahead and save. Click on save in the upper right corner. And now that you've clicked on save, we're going to move down and we're going to pick the layout, so the look of your report that you want to have. So as you saw my report a bit ago, I had the balloons and that really cool look. So click on preview layout, and you can scroll through, and here are all the different photographs that would appear at the top of your report. So anything from mountains to houses to, we got some really cool new Colorado specific photos. So here's the Boulder Flatirons, here's the city of Denver, that is I think Arrowhead down in the southwest part of Douglas County. You got great, here's the one I used, the photos with the hot air balloons, and Longs Peak, I think that's in the background, or Mount Evans maybe. And then, of course, scenic fall type imagery as well. So whichever one you want to have, whether it's a living room setting, a patio setting, you decide, pick the one that you want, and then click on save in the bottom left corner. Click on save. When you select the one you want, the little radial button will fill in. Click on save, and then it should save the item, and you're good to go there. Okay. The next items below, the next fields below, are relative to the actual introductions for each of the reports. We've already set it up for you. No need for you to make any edits. However, if you choose to change it however you like, feel free. But I would highly, highly, highly recommend that you do not let the character count go beyond these character counts that we've already preset for you. Okay. It's set perfectly, so it's formatted in a way that it all stays on one page. When you or your clients were to, or should they print it off, everything is just perfect at these exact character counts. So you can edit these if you want, but don't go beyond the 707, 550, etc. Got it? Cool? Awesome. All right, so scrolling down, make sure you're the Mountain Time Zone. In the time zone, make sure it says Mountain Time Zone, and then all these other fields not relevant to our session here today. So go ahead and click on the Save button in the upper right corner, making sure that everything that we've already entered and updated your profile with looks great and all. Okay? All right, the next thing we're going to do is go to Contacts. And I want you to set yourself up as a contact, assuming that you perhaps have never entered a contact yet to date. Now, while you're, so what I want you to do is go ahead and click on New, okay? Click on the New button. So we're going to create a new contact. And then you're going to enter your first and last name. And then you're going to enter your email address, okay? And while you do that, before you do anything else, just I want to let you know that these reports are very intuitive, very custom-oriented in the sense of you want to make sure that the context that you set these reports are up for are just that. They are specific to whether they're looking to buy or sell in a certain marketplace or a certain area. So whatever, the bottom line there is, do not upload your new Panda list, or do not take your entire contact list and dump it all into here. You do not want to spam and blast out reports to randoms across the board. This is specific to cherry picking your clients that you want to receive these reports. Okay, so going forward, you'll want to make sure that you're being very careful and mindful in that. All right. So a couple things as you're looking at the screen. It says Previews Report. So this is relevant to whether or not you want the Previews logo to be present on the report. you don't have to be a previews agent necessarily, but if you want to demonstrate that it's a luxury report and you're speaking to the previews market segment, then if you select yes, that means the previews logo will appear, okay? So by now you've hopefully put in your first and your last name, okay? When you type in your last name, it will auto-generate the cover salutation, which you can change however you like, okay? You can say hey, you can say yo, you can say what's up, whatever you want. What I want you to do right now for this is I want you to highlight your name in the salutation, okay? And then I want you to hold down the Shift button, which is just the button to the right of the 0 digit up in the keyboard. So hold down the Shift and the underline button, okay, just to the right of the 0 digit, 2 from the left of delete on your keyboard, okay? So what it does is it creates a line on the screen. And the reason I want you to do that for your own personal reports that you're creating that you could or would share on social media is because when I show you how to share your reports on social media, the underline is the current way to get around the system and having a salutation in it, okay? So in other words, you don't want to have it say, Dear Todd, for example, and we post it on your Facebook wall and you're addressing all your friends with Dear Todd. But instead, it looks sharp when a line is going across instead of a salutation, and it kind of looks like a stationary header when you see it in the report. Okay, everyone got me there? So type in your email address. The other thing is, if you want to send this report to, say, a husband, wife, spouse, business partner, more than one person in a household, let's say, okay? You'll type in the additional email addresses there in this profile that you're creating. Partners. Am I getting my point across? Go ahead and add the additional email addresses.
I think you missed some kind of partner.
Just put in the email addresses, okay? All right, cool. So if nothing else, put your own email address in here, and then from there, nothing more to do down here. Don't worry about it. All you need to do is make sure you got their email addresses in it, and we'll click on Save and Close. Actually, it's probably going to say nothing entered, blah, blah, blah. But for you, make sure that you have clicked on Save and Close, and then you should have your contact sitting here, okay? So you should have your contact information sitting there, and it could or would look like this. You can go in and edit them as often as you like, and contrast them, you can delete them, you can add to it, etc. All right, so that is the contact. We've created your contact, and that is how you'll add additional contacts, okay? You can import contacts, right? So if you have a spreadsheet or a CSV file, you can import them as you like, but as I said earlier, don't go crazy with it and take, your new Panda list of email addresses or your top producer list or wherever you have a list. Don't dump them all in and then start blasting people with your reports. All right, now what I want you to do is go to Market Report, okay? So we had Market Report, and now we're going to create an actual market report, okay? So you probably don't have any market reports here unless you've come in previously and started messing around with it, or actually have started sending them out. That's awesome. But what I want you to do is click on New, and then we're going to name the report. So what I want you to do is name the report with the idea of over time you're going to start creating multiple reports, and you're going to want to make sure that you have it organized in the system. So, for example, just type in your last name. So I'm going to say the Moyers report for me. But down the road, you're going to always want to make sure you name the report by the last name or the client name, so you know what report is which. Otherwise, it could get extremely confusing if you don't know whose report you are creating. So you're going to name that report, and then from here, we are going to jump over the search criteria for the moment. But the next field is going to be the contact. So you're going to find yourself as the contact. Okay, you're going to click on yourself as the contact and click on OK. And then your name should populate right here. Okay. And then from here, I want you to go down to email frequency, and I want you to change it to 1 day. Because what I want you to start receiving is this particular report we're creating for you. I want you to start receiving it daily, starting tomorrow. You'll get the first one today, but I want you to start seeing it on a regular basis so you can master it and engage in it, and get a good feel of it before you go live with your first client that you would set a report up for. Okay. Obviously, once you decide who's your next victim or your first victim of receiving this report, you'll want to communicate with them and decide how often they want to receive this report from you. So whether it's weekly, every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks, whatever it is, you figure it out from there. Okay. But for this, you're going to select the 1 day report. If your client is a buyer that you're working with, then you can select buyer in the language in the showed you in the fields earlier. So that those fields earlier that I said you can go in and make your edits, but don't mess with the character count. Each one of those are written and worded in a way that we've already done it for you. Should you select buyer, then it's going to speak to them as a buyer as your client, or seller, it's going to speak to them as a seller as your client. Okay, so you decide which is which. We are prospects, so a generic prospect. Eventually, it's not here now, of course, but it will be worded in a way that are connecting with them in the event that they should decide to buy or sell. But for now, option. Where it says copy an agent on the report, you can decide whether or not you want to be copied on this report that you're going to be getting yourself, but always going to select yes, okay? Because the important piece of that is when your client is receiving the report and you've started to kind of forget which reports are going out when, how, all that good stuff, you're going to want to make sure that you're in the know when your clients are starting to receive these reports, and you are prepared to either call them and say, hey, did you notice the average sales price in your area, blah, 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 or of it's real estate, whereas is it's unreal estate related. So you would want to make sure that you select yes as an agent to be copied in your future reports, not necessarily this one. You can set up an expiration date if you want to have your report expire in like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or your client's report. If they say, hey, send me the report for a couple months, but on the 27th, I don't want to receive it anymore. It'll expire. The other item next down is the number of listings that are going to appear in the report. So obviously it defaults to 100, which gives you the broadest spectrum of market data, which is great. But it also is going to load up the number of listings in the report to be pretty excessive in the event that there are upwards of 100 properties available based on the criteria that we're going to select. Okay, so my recommendation is for you to probably select 25. That way the report you create here, which I'll show you shortly, only has 25 listings to look at versus scrolling through hundreds or tons of properties. So I'm going to select 25. You can name the report that whether it'll appear on the report itself specific to the area that we are creating. So you could easily say I'm in the Highlands Ranch office now. So I'm going to say Highlands Ranch report, right? So for your reports, you can select or name the report, Highlands Ranch Market Report, or you can say Highlands Ranch Report brought to you, compliments of me, or however creative you want to get. But you can see here by scrolling over the little question mark, you can see in essence that what it will look like, okay? The signature subject line, it's already preset for you, but you could easily type in here Highlands Ranch Market Report from Todd Moyer, and that's what it'll say in the subject line when the email comes through. So you can change those as you like, okay? So that pretty much gets us squared away with the initial information relative to who it's going to go to and all that good stuff. So now what I want you to do is go up to the search criteria field. You can either click in the little white box or you can click on edit. Either way, it does the same thing. And then this gets us into, here is the search criteria specific information that you want to pull on, okay? So if you have a property address of your client, you can type in the property address and decide how much of a radius that you want to pull the data from. If you have an MLS number, it'll pull the MLS number and the radius. And then from here, you can decide how detailed out you want to go relative to active properties, 90 days back, under contract properties in the report, 90 days back. You have sold properties, you may want to go, a full year. Expireds, you may want to either do 180 or 7 or whatever, right? So you have control over what sort of criteria you want to really drill down to, okay? However, if I were you, so first of all, I wanted to share with you, if you have an address, you can type that in, right? And if you have an MLS number, you can type that in and search around that, all right? So that's one option. But I think most often, what you're probably going to use this tool and system for is the map search, okay? This is an option, but what I think where the rubber really hits the road is the map search component, which you probably have been familiar with in your MLSs and whatnot, right? So you click on the map search feature, or tab that is, and when you do that, I want you to click on the double arrows in this little window, which is basically what we were just in, okay? But you need to click the double arrows, so then it allows the map to be visible and also allows you to grab the map with your cursor on your mouse. So you got the little hand, you'll hold down the mouse button and you'll drag the map around till you find where you want to specifically hone in on a market area relative to either where you're at currently as we speak, or specific to your clients that may be interested in buying in a particular area, say like Arvada or whatever the case may be. I think you get the point. What I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll on down, okay, to, being that I'm in Highlands Ranch right now, I'm going to focus on Highlands Ranch, okay? And I'm going to take my mouse, and in the upper right corner, you'll see these different little tool icons. And you can either use a rectangle, you could use a circle, or you could use the polygon. The polygon allows you to really customize and drill down and draw a specific area. Okay? In this case, I'm going to just use the rectangle. So I click on the rectangle button, right, icon. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to click my mouse button once and release it, and then it draws, it allows me to draw the area that I want to pull data on or focus on a report relative to this specific area. I'm just going to name it for this, in this case, I'm just naming it Highlands Ranch, but you can be, however specific you want, okay? All right, so I'm going to click on OK. And when I click on OK, here is the data, the listings, based on the criteria that we selected earlier, number of actives, number under contracts, and so on. It's more of a global snapshot, so here's all the properties that are coming in relative to that. But what you can do is take your mouse, and you can even click on the actual number, and it will show you here are the 6, in this case, 6 sold under contracts, expired, etc. So each one of those numbers you can drill down and see what it is that it is identifying. So there's one active and a number of solds and under contracts in that specific blue box that I just selected on. Or you can actually take your mouse And whether you roll with your mouse or you use the plus and minus, see the little plus and minus button right here, these little zoom in, zoom outs, and you can really zoom in and zoom out specific to certain, more detailed, if you will, more detailed area if you want to go down that granular, okay? You can, and this is just pre-report stuff, if you will. You can shrink your area, so you can shrink the area that you're getting a report on, or you want to hone in on if you want to really get a little bit more hone in or specific to a certain area, or with your mouse you can drag it and increase the area. So I can now pull in, let's say, Lone Tree as well as Heritage Hills and so forth, okay? So obviously that's going to give you even more information. So my suggestion, and the other thing while you're kind of messing around with that right here, you cannot create two search areas for a specific report. So in other words, I just drew this. You cannot draw another area for this same report. You have to create two separate reports. Make sense? Okay? All right, so what I'm going to do now is we're going to click on OK. Are there any questions? So go ahead and click on OK, and you'll see the field populated with what we have selected in the criteria. Okay? And now what I want you to do is click on Preview. Okay? You're going to click on Preview, and it's going to generate the report. It may take a minute or two, depending on how much data is coming in, based on the criteria that you selected. And the preview should appear on your screen. Here's the photo that I created. Here's the little, here's the, whatchamacallit, the introduction. In this case, because I didn't select the contact information that had, the contact. Since I didn't select my contact that had my name or where I drew the line, just make sure a little line should be sitting right here. Obviously, I have my salutation in mind because I didn't select the one that I wanted with the line. But you should see the line that you drew in the salutation, which, as you can see here, looks really sharp. And now you can share it on social media as such. Everybody good there? Tell me in the bottom right corner if everybody sees the line. Say yes. And Katrina will tell me if everyone sees the line. While you do that, I'm going to have a smoke break here. I'm trying to quit. It's my New Year's resolution, trying to quit smoking. Oh, God.
The struggle.
I'm getting a response. Is anyone out there?
We have a couple people who can't chat in, so they're emailing.
Oh, nice. Okay. Whatever works. Anyways, so hopefully you have the line. We're going to move along in the event that you have it. All right, so here's the report, right? So scroll down, check out the report. It has all the great data as far as sale data. It has graphs that look super sharp, and keep in mind that literally all you had to do was, take a few minutes and draw some boxes and click criteria. And it is super slick to be able to have a report that pulls in the inventory. So here's the list of the market summary in a snapshot. And then here is the current local inventory that is pulling in straight from the MLS based on the criteria, high to low. And this is where I told you may want to only have 25. So you can imagine if you decide that you want to have upwards of 100 listings coming in, that your client is scrolling through hundreds of properties. So that's where, when I said earlier, be mindful on the data or the number of listings that you would want to have present. This is the part that I was referencing, okay? All right, so the other thing that's super cool is, as a demonstration and for your clients, is to be able to select this listing. And when you select the listing, it looks like it's your property from your client's vantage point. It has the property photos that they can click through, right? Again, all within the report, makes it look super slick from your standpoint. All right, you close that window as a little demo here. The other thing that's really neat is if you haven't used Street View, okay, the Street View feature that Google has, you can click on the, whether you do it or your client does it, click on the little map so it shows the actual specific spot on the Google map where this particular listing is that is available, not your listing, but looks like your listing. And then you can have the Street View feature. So you take this little orange guy and you drag him over to the property. And then within a matter of seconds, in the event that they were able to go in some of the gated communities, this is actually a gated community, so you can't really, the chances of Street View working is not good. But instead, let me jump back over to, I'm going to get a different property that's not in a gated area, so that way we know that, so that's another gated property. Let's go to one that's not gated. All right, so what you do is click on the map, and then let me drag the little orange guy over to the property, and then it takes you to what is called Street View, okay? And this is where you and your client or whoever receives this can, you know, like literally drive around and look and see the dog. Well, look at that, isn't that cool? Look at the person that, in this one, on the screen, where'd that person go? Where'd they go? I had them. The person was out. We got 5 minutes. I'm getting the 5-minute hook note. Anyways, wherever that went, that person had was out walking the dog. Anyways, so that's the Street View, right? Pretty cool. Be able to do that. All right, so now what I want you to do is we're going to go back to the market report. So close all those little windows that I had you randomly open up. And now that you've previewed your report, you're going to send it, okay? So click on Save and Send, and then it will save and send that report for you that you've created, right? So that's how you create that report. You can go in and edit the report, you can trash the report, you can make changes to the report, you can preview the report, etc. This is the report that you just created. Now I'm going to blast through very quickly because I have 5 minutes left. I want to show you what an area report looks like. What just dropped? Did something drop that was essential? Okay, something just dropped off the computer. I just wanted to make it sure it wasn't something plugged in. Keep moving, right? All right, so let's go to area report. So click on area report on the left, click on new. I want you to select, so you're going to name your report. So again, this is going to be the Moyers area report. We're going to click on browse, okay? And you're going to find yourself as a contact. So click on yourself as a contact. We're going to now go into browse the market area, okay? So now what this does is it lists all the different counties, right? What I want you to do instead is I want you to click on search, and then I want you to click on, or type in, that is, click on type in Highlands Ranch, or whatever your specific area is. Now what this is doing is we're going to get into sub-areas specifically, okay? The area report comes out once a month, so at the beginning of the month is when the report will be generated and sent to your clients. Again, you're going to want to make sure you're copied on it because it's super important. You're not going to remember that, you know, the beginning of every month, here comes the Moyer report or your, you know, client's report, right? So you're going to want to make sure you're copied on it, okay? So type in whatever area that you are in. I'm going to type in Highlands Ranch, and here are all the sub-areas specific to the area that you just typed in. So these are all the subdivision areas inside of a specific area, okay? And for the sake of time, I'm going to just type in Douglas County Highlands Ranch as a whole. But you can go in and decide you want to specifically report on backcountry or the brownstones or the clock tower or whatever the case may be. So in this case, I'm going to get a report that's all inclusive, all of Douglas County Highlands Ranch, and then specific sub-areas, right? So I'm going to click on OK. And then from here, we're going to click on Preview. So these are the four areas within this area report I'm going to generate. Click on Preview, and it's going to generate the report. and this is specific to the area. So it's more top level, not inventory specific, okay? So be mindful, these are great for open houses. If you have an open house and you want to put together a report specific to that area, or if you have people relocating in and out and you want to give them the data specific graphs specific to certain areas within that area. These are great to print off and have ready, or you could send them as an area as a whole, okay? So you at least know what's going on there. We do have the a little key underneath each one of them, so it specifically explains, and you'll want to read these yourself, particularly if your client is calling on something relative to one of these graphs. You're going to want to have the intel of what these different graphs and lines and charts all mean, okay? So we put the key down there for you. But here's the area report, and you like the preview, click on Save and Send, and now you're going to start receiving this on a monthly basis, okay? So that's how you do the area report. You may want to play with that a little bit, okay? And then lastly, I'm not going to go into it, but over time, once you start sending out these reports, you click on Prospecting Tracker, and that will show you who has done what with the reports, how many times they went out, who opened it, who didn't open it, who deleted it, who sent it, forwarded, etc. Like New Panda, that's Prospecting Tracker. And then you can also create categories, or basically imagine groups, okay? So if you have a specific farm area and you're in the farm club, you can create a group that you want to farm to, or in a building that you want to farm to, or a group of clients you want to farm to, or send these reports to. All right, so how you do that real quick, and then we'll wrap up. Click on the categories, click on New, and then you're going to create the new group. I know it says category, but you're creating a group. So this is the Highlands Ranch Amazing Group. Okay, that's the group I'm creating. I got the 1 minute hook, and then you click on Save and Close. And now what happens here? So what you want to do? Sorry. Click on Apply to Contacts, Market Report, and Area Report. Just click them all. Okay, not Quarterly Report because we don't have that yet. But click on the 3 reports that I just showed you. Click on Save and Close. And then now when you generate a report, so I'm going to go in and I'm going to create a report. I'm going to just click on the one I've already selected here. What you can do now is you can assign this report to, actually that was a preview. I'm going to go to Edit. So what you can do now is you can go in and tell the report that you want it to go to. Here's the the Highlands Ranch. Where's my Highlands Ranch Amazing Group? Wherever I put that in here. Oh, there it is, right there. So this report, you want it to go to this group who you have created contacts within that group. Okay, so that means this report will start going to that group of contacts. Okay, and then over here in contacts, you would assign the contact to that group. Okay, so if you create a contact, and you would assign this contact to that group, and that's who's going to be receiving that. So we went over the contacts, we went over the profiles, we went over how to create a market report, how to create an area report, the analytics. Once you get up and running, you'll start working through those and looking at those. So here's an amazing way, an amazing tool for you to be able to reach out to your clients with something that is relative to real estate as a part of the AVP. It's another amazing tool that we offer here at Coldwell Banker, so take full advantage of it and get in there and start working it pretty well on a regular basis, especially before you start sending it out to your clients. I would recommend you start setting up a number of different reports so you can have a good handle on it before you start sending it out to your clients. And then hopefully first quarter, maybe second quarter of this year, we're going to have the quarterly reports, which I'll circle back on, and we'll start training on what the quarterly report looks like. So that's a little carrot that I put out there. So in the meantime, enjoy, have a great day, and be safe.